I barely went to school in 11th. Yeah, मैं कितनी cute हूँ यार. Yeah,
That's great. That's
it's not.
awesome.
He's like, at the end of the day, job satisfaction is more than, an MNC. And after that, when you get into a great college for masters, you will get into any MNC that you want. And then that Teach for India or like Deloitte or JP Morgan won't hold any value because your experiences would be so much more.
We'll come back to writing before moving to your business part of it. The last question we have in writing is, what kind of zone do you have to get into to write? So, I mean, lots of artists have different ways of sort of getting their best work through. For you, is it something about when you're feeling extreme emotions? Is that when you get your best work out, or do you have a method to the writing?
I don't have any method. I write when I feel like there's a track of flow that is going in my head. If there was a day that I'll just put everything down in my notes, and there'll be another day when, I think, oh yeah, this line should be better. Or, this line should be better. So right now I was thinking to like write because yesterday I was standing and with like the rain falling and everything. I was like, I wish someone loved me like my thoughts love me.
Wow, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Right.
yeah, like your thoughts spend so much time with you. And I thought I'll write about that. And I'm writing about that. So it's just like random things. There's no set that, because I write so much. Like I always tell that I don't write about love and I end up writing about love. So that one thing being. And I've never had that. Like whenever I feel that emotion, I write it down.
But how much do you fixate on it? Like, how much do you edit? How much do you think, oh, this should have been better, that should have been better? Or is it just one flow and then you're done?
No. Obviously, when I do write, when I have to perform, so why I used to do open mics is because I forgot, like writing in my business, writing for so many people, I forgot what it feels to write for your own self. So I put up open mics in such a way that, Habitat has it on Mondays and Fridays. So, or Sundays. I used to put up my slots. I used to ask them to book my slots in such a day that I will finish one piece of work by then. So I can just
Oh,
try it
wow.
out then.
Right.
So my friends help me in editing and everything and all of that. But when it becomes that flow, when you're speaking about it and it feels nice, I think that's when I know that, yeah, I think it is done.
Oh, fair. That's a healthy way to go about it, so that you're in touch and
Touch,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Now,
you put so much pressure on writing, you will not be able to write.
that is very true because Praatibh's done, and he's part of a club where I used to write, and I want to become a writer. And there's just a lot of pressure we put on ourselves to just put out an article. Now, go into your business, which is, by the way, Letters by Shraddha, link in the description, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic product, by the way. So you, over the lockdown, went from starting a club in your college called Semicolon. Now, why did you want to do that? And also going from there to starting your own business, like how was that transition like?
In college, in like my first year, everyone was in theater and everything, and mime, street play, and all of that. And I didn't find it like there was no point in screaming and being a Krantikari, I just felt. So I thought that's not my thing. And like the practices and everything, and you will get like a lot of friends and everything. I just thought that's not my way of getting friends.
Fair,
and I was in the photography club, and I was like, this is so boring, man. Like, I just wanna do something better. And then I
Praatibh's
realized,
a photographer too, by the way.
sorry.
It's all right.
I keep
Everybody has
complaining
their...
too, so it's fine.
So I just felt like I really need a place where I can make my family, because everyone in the club used to go for parties or like, all of that. And I used to be like, I don't have that. Like, and I have not found that, that group of people that, you vibe with. So I just thought, why do I not create that for myself? So that's when I started Semicolon. And with the hope that, there would be people, who would have the same thought, or, because as writers and artists, we don't usually mingle ourselves with a lot of writers and artists ourselves.
Right.
So I just felt that, having that home would be better for them. And that's when I started Semicolon. And it was just, out of a thing that, first it'll look good on my resume,
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
And second was out of the fact that, I wanted to create that space
Mhm.
for people. That's when I start semicolon.
And from that, how did you go into business? Because, by the way, the whole idea of the business itself is so niche. Because I've
Yeah.
not heard anyone do this, and I have a
Hmm.
lot of friends in Christ.
Hmm.
And when I told them that you're coming on, and I told them, so they're like, letters by Shraddha, Shraddha. I'm like, exactly that, Shraddha. And they were also excited about how, because it's such a different idea of writing letters
Hmm.
for someone else. So, how did you think of that? And from being a hobby, like you said in the Christ article,
Hmm.
from that to go
Yeah.
into making it a business?
I think, so first of all, it started with my ex being a jerk. So,
Nice.
the one thing that good came out of that relationship was my business. So I wouldn't lie about that. So, being in a relationship, I realized that I am very good with my emotions and everything. Why
Right.
can't anybody else be with their emotions? Because I was expecting that from the,
Other person.
from other person.
Yeah.
And he used to never say anything, like, nothing. And I felt so bad because like, so there are 5 languages of love, and
Mhm.
words of affirmation is one of them for me. Like, I don't need physical touch, I don't need any of it. I need words of affirmation. And I used to never get that. And I used to never get that. And I felt so bad that, there would be so many people out there who would actually feel the same way as me. Like, because their partner is not expressive. And I have people who tell me, I'm not that expressive, and I want him or her to know that I really love them. And I don't know how to tell them because I don't find words. And I realized there'll be so many people like that. And
Yeah.
there are people like that.
Mhm.
And that's how it started. Like, I wanted that from the other person. So what if there was a thing like that?
Right.
And I realized there was actually no one in business who was doing that. I searched about it
Mhm.
online, and there was one person doing it. They had the same concept as me, but one thing they didn't have is a social media presence.
Right.
And I
Mhm.
decided to stick on that and make my whole product. So
Mhm.
everyone does, like calligraphers, and everyone does
Yeah. Yeah.
handwritten letters. The concept of handwritten letters is not so uncommon.
Mhm.
But the only thing is that no one writes for you, or
Right.
like writes in your words.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do that because I was good at it. And I just felt that, it can be something. I didn't expect it to be what it is now. Like I just wanted to just be in my space. Then I became this person I am now. And it's completely different. My life has
Right.
completely changed. Like, my
Mhm.
first reel went viral last November.
Mhm.
Like, the November, like Shraddha now and the Shraddha then were completely different.
Right.
And I just feel I never expected it to be this big. Like, never expected to be. And I'm glad it is big because I've written for so many people, and so many people have they have found that way of expressing their love, you know, and I'm fine with that. Like, I'm the reason.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, how does it feel being that middle person of conveying love to the other person?
I just feel like whenever someone tells me, I want to write this, people ask people for marriage and everything through my letters, and I feel like,
Whoa.
when did I become so
Oh,
privileged?
damn.
Oh, that
That is
is,
like the real privilege.
yeah,
And
that's
I think, yeah, I mean, the same way, like breakup letters I've written. I mean,
Mhm.
thank you for
Whoa,
making me
okay.
the medium of
really,
this.
they've broken up through letters.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Right.
Damn.
So I've done a lot in the 1 year of being in business, and I think it just feels nice. Like, I think you must have heard this line. I think I would have said it. Like, I've lived 1,000 stories at once, and
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's any better than that.
I was also going to ask you about what's that one thing you realize after making it a business. And also,
Hmm.
is that so I listened to you speaking in the other interview where you said that a lot of guys send letters
Hmm.
to a lot of girls than the other way around.
Hmm.
And I was also thinking about how I have a lot of friends who are girls and they're such beautiful handwriting. And half of the guys don't. So I'm like, I understand why that
Hmm.
happens. But Is there something else that you picked up on through this business and that you realized before, like after you made it a business and it became big?
That I realize people don't really say that what they feel to other people. Like people don't talk about their emotions when they should. Like at the end of the day, you're humans, and people don't do that. And I feel so bad like about the fact that there's so many people who have these all these feelings inside of them, and they don't have an outlet.
Right.
And that's what I feel like everyone should have. Like, the thing is right now, like from the switch, like we are going to have on offline exams now. Everyone's main problem is not the studying part, कि, पढ़ के जाना पड़ेगा, अभी लिखना पड़ेगा. Their part is that they don't know if they could write on the paper.
Right. Fair.
And for me, there has never been like a problem because from the last 1 year, I've just been writing.
Right.
Right.
And I think the fact that people have lost touch with their feelings, and just because you know how much ever you type on a phone,
Oh yeah.
you have forgotten how to send an email. As simple as that, And it's just so the whole cancel culture and the toxic culture and the gaslighting culture, I just feel like people should really just like look at themselves and just be like, you're human. Like chill, like you are
Yeah.
human. Just talk about what you feel like. Tell people that you love them. It's
Yeah.
not, why can't you?
Yeah.
Love is
Why?
such a beautiful feeling. Yeah.
It is, but then when you don't get it back, and then it's not so beautiful anymore.
But I think that's a part. No.
Yeah, that's the part. Is there something you don't like you won't write about? Like, is there a particular type of order or something they will tell you to write about where you say, no, I can't write about this? Or can you write about anything and everything a
If you're gonna
customer
ask
wants
me
you
to
to?
write a sexy, intimate letter, I'm never gonna write it.
Really? What if?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's where
So
you
there's
draw the
one
line.
client who actually asked me to write. So basically, gave me the content, and I didn't realize mid the letter that it
Okay.
was something that was
Yeah.
NSFW.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I finished writing the letter. I go back and I share the
Okay.
photos with him. He goes like, "How did you like reading the letter?"
Wait.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. I don't want to be a part of this.
Right. Right.
And he goes like, will she like it? I'm like, she's your girlfriend, bro. How will I know? Because the whole letter is, and
Oh
how am I
shit.
supposed to know how she's gonna like it? Like, tell her that you will be with her forever.
Yeah.
Why am I
Yeah.
writing this?
Oh my
And I
god.
think one thing I
Jeez.
refuse writing about, I've had these two instances where people have told me to write a letter for my own self. They've paid also.
Fair.
And they've told me to write a letter for me. I was like, आप लिख के दे दो ना मेरे को मैं खुद अपने आप के लिए क्यों लिखूं
Fair
पहले से ही
enough.
टाइम कम आप मेरे को मेरे लिए that's one thing I wouldn't do.
Yeah. I think that's fair. The sexual thing, I don't really understand it because you're letting
I've
someone else
yeah
read it.
Yeah. That's
Oh
weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
yeah
is
I
very
think
weird.
that was first. I think in the start, like last December or something, I would have gotten that
Right.
order, and never after that, like never has anyone had that weird
That's
request,
nice.
because these people are going to keep these letters forever. You don't want to
Yeah.
go back. Go to your WhatsApp or Snapchat, man, for that. Like, why are you
Yeah.
coming to like a
Oh, you
letter
got your
forward?
advice
A
there.
third
Go to
person. Yeah.
Snapchat or WhatsApp. Yeah.
Dude, there was one very interesting thing. I mean, when Ashwin was asking about the whole pattern stuff, and you spoke about how people can't you sort of communicate their feelings, do you think, or like, I'm assuming that you get like a varied age group for requests. So, in that sense, have you observed that maybe people our age find it tougher as compared to older people?
Or otherwise, or
People
anything.
our
Yeah,
age have
anything.
a lot of other problems. Someone is dating
Yeah.
someone, they like each other, but I want, like, people have
Right.
weird requests, you know.
Acha,
This
okay, so
girl
you've
likes,
gotten those kind of
yeah,
letters.
I don't want to be the person to break किसी का घर,
Right.
but
Right.
I have had to be that person,
Okay.
and I feel so bad, like, that you can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
when you, like, I just think, putting myself into perspective, like, if I were to get to know that, my boyfriend is writing something for someone else, or my girlfriend is writing
Yeah.
something for someone else, I would feel so shitty about myself. Like, what
That's
have
true.
I not done for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that people have. I think our generation really needs to like stick to one person. It is
That is
not that
true.
difficult.
Yes.
Like,
Praatibh,
I don't know.
can I
Yeah,
say?
if you don't love somebody,
Hmm.
don't give them hopes
Yeah.
and be
That's
with
true.
them. Shout out to my ex. But yeah,
Yeah, so you said that your first one of your reels went viral, and I think a couple after that have gotten millions of views. So, has that or did that help your growth a lot? Did that make a difference?
massively.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
current account, that is like
Yeah,
my personal account,
yeah,
because I posted my reels then because I had that idea of never separate the art from the artist.
right,
So I started
right.
posting the things on there and I reached like 15K followers.
Oh,
I have now
oh.
like 10 years on now. Like now I don't care about it. Now I care how much is on my business
Huh,
account because I've
huh.
shifted all of my, and I think that shift was a little difficult because that base
Yeah,
was already
right,
formed.
yeah,
Right.
right,
Should have
right,
kept
right.
it. I just debate about that. Should have kept it there only on
Yeah,
my main account. Shouldn't have shifted it. That probably one, but I think it helped it grow so much. Not just once, not just twice, like 3 times is something that I wouldn't have expected it. And that too,
right.
like in the start when reels were like just becoming a thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
everyone was on that reel.
Right.
And now
Right.
everyone is just there. So getting a million now
It's
doesn't
probably
seem like
tougher.
a lot. But
Oh, and okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, right now it's a little common to,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
start
that's true.
hitting
That's
10,
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
10K. Yeah. And it's just now, then it was such a big
yeah.
deal because like TikTok had just gotten
Right, right,
banned and
right,
everything.
right.
So it was such a, man, I don't know how, what made it go viral. I don't know. I didn't use hashtags, I think, on it. I don't know
No,
what
but I
made it.
mean the whole video and the aesthetic of the video is great. I have watched it a
Yeah.
couple of times just because it looks so great.
I just one person told me, why don't you shoot a reel? And I
Hmm.
was like, before that, I just tried what the whole functionality
Yeah,
behind a reel and
yeah.
everything is. Then I was like, yeah, probably I can do it. But I wasn't getting any orders. So when I did get an order, I was like, now though I will shoot it.
Hmm.
Right.
And yeah, that guy's like, you should be thankful for my order. I'm like, yeah, I'm deeply grateful because you have gotten me a lot of orders. So
Now,
that I think, yeah.
before we move on to the last question, I have one last.
Hmm.
Is the future okay? I don't know if this is the future, but do you think there'll come a point where you'll recruit people for this business and you'll stop writing and you'll ask others to write for you?
Whenever I go to sleep, I just manifest my own office with like a logo behind. Like this logo,
Nice.
I want it to be in like neon lights somewhere,
It's a nice
like
logo. It's a nice
somewhere.
logo. Yeah.
Yeah, like somewhere I just want it to be. And like the thing in Her, if you watch the movie,
Hmm.
if it's something like that, so basically it's like a whole handwritten letter service thing type of a movie. I wish it can be something bigger if I want it to be, and if
Mm-hmm.
I work
Right.
hard towards it for being something, because at the end of the day, technology is just going there.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So this is not going to fade away anytime soon. So there is, if I utilize my resources and everything properly, and if I maintain this and keep my consistency at it, it can be something completely different.
Right.
So then I can tell that uncle again that I
Yeah.
scaled up my
Yeah.
business. There is scalability.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I hope there comes a point where
Yeah.
you do scale up your
Yeah.
business and you have
Yeah.
people working under you. You're the boss and everything. Now
Yeah.
we usually end our podcast like this just because it's fun, I guess. Are you a tea or a coffee person?
Hmm. So basically, I have my days where, so in the morning, I drink chai when I used to be at
Right.
home. Like, I used to make chai, and then, and when I wanted to have coffee, so basically, I have brewed coffee. So I go through like the whole pour over process or like mocha pot process. And if I want to calm myself down, shout out to my brother. If I want to calm myself down, I do the whole drinking coffee wala process,
Right.
like pour over
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So it depends, like, it depends on the day. So I'm both. I'm team both, but yeah,
But if you
no
had to
preference.
choose, like you had to
Okay,
choose.
right now if you had to choose in Bangalore,
Yeah, right now if you had to.
Bangalore ki thandi,
chai.
Nice. All right, then. That is great.
Nice.
A great way to end this episode. It's been an hour, Shraddha. Thank you so much, first of all, for
Thank you.
giving us an hour. And I mean,
Yeah.
I love this episode because, first of all, of how wholesome your stories are and just how positive you are and your outlook in life and stuff. It's great to listen to. I wish I could do this for a long time, but then we have time constraint and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for waiting and me shifting my times 100 times. I'm sorry for that.
No, that's
That's all right.
absolutely that's
Yeah.
it's completely fine. We had nothing to do today anyway. Guys,
This is so sad.
no, for us we had nothing to do. I mean, the whole day we were free.
Just
So
free.
anytime it was fine. Guys, links of Letters by Shraddha or Instagram link, both the Instagram links will be in the description below. So please go check that out. Again, thank you so much for coming in. Like always, Sunday is a podcast episode with guests from all around the world and all walks of life, which will be divided into two parts. So first part will come out on a Sunday, second part will come out on a Wednesday. Man, the outro has changed. Like, share and subscribe, all the good stuff. All the links of our socials in the description below. Yeah, man, thank you so much for watching.
Peace.
Peace.